Sorry, we're closed.
All right, another episode. Sorry we're closed. Welcome back. Hope everyone had a great weekend. We got a holiday weekend coming up here, Sean, July 4th. Everyone's favorite baseball holiday.
We celebrate freedom.
Yep. Hot dogs, burgers, and freedom.
That's pretty much America in a nutshell, folks.
Yes.
Hot dogs, burgers, and freedom.
I always like the 4th of July. I think I'm going down the shore again, see some live bands.
It's 4th of July, just has great vibes.
Really good vibes.
Great
really
vibes.
Good vibes. Really good vibes. But moving on from freedom, question of the day. Question of the day, Sean, start us off. Well, you don't know the question of the day. I'll start us off. Question of the day. We get back to our $1 billion theme.
This guy loves the $1 billion.
$1 billion. People are most tempted by money. That's why it always seems to center around that. But question of the day, $1 billion enters your account. The only stipulation, there's only one, that you cannot see or communicate with friends or family for 5 years.
I mean, this is very similar to
The space
thing.
Only you're further out. It's 5 more years, and you get 2 additional years on top of the 3 years.
Can you communicate with like people you don't like?
So that's the thing. It's 2 years on top of the 3. Only difference this time is that you can still be living here and you can talk to other people. You just know any friend or family member that you have currently in your life, you cannot see or communicate with for 5 consecutive years.
But I can make all new friends.
Theoretically, yeah. Friends are not your strong suit.
Not my strong suit. No, I'm not doing that.
So that's the thing. Yeah, this is the things you think about. Although, yeah, all right, is not communicating with friends or family that tough for 5 years? I mean, it probably is not great, but it's probably.
You definitely get used to it.
Get used to it. But then on top of it, you talk about the elderly in your family. 5 years, a long time.
It's like mom and dad listening to this. We're like, I'll be able to pain a little for a little bit, but we get used to it.
You get used to it. But, the elderly, you talk about like people like Colleen and Mark, the young baby. They're out. They're not missing the first 5 years of their child.
We'll get back after 5 years and be like, who is this? This is your godson, Sean.
That's the thing, is that a lot of people get immediately eliminated from this question solely because of their current situation.
Oh, there's also a lot of people that you would think would be immediately eliminated, and they would be instantly in on this.
Yeah, Mark might take the billion. But
I just, to me, it's just like, again, the billion is so excessive to me.
So excessive.
Completely unnecessary to have that amount of money. I personally enjoy the bill, like getting it. Like, to me, obviously the money has an effect, but to me, it's more of enjoyable. And you've mentioned this, where it's like kind of a game, where it's like, like the game. For me, it's not. I don't. Just I got to wait 5 years now, and then I'm a billionaire. That's less enjoyable to me.
I agree. It's almost like being born into it.
Yeah.
And like, although you live a good life, but you don't know the other life, so it's less. It's got to be like someone who is born into a billionaire family, and it just always has lavish things.
Yeah.
It's got to be less
lavish things.
This is not that's the name.
No, I mean that's great. I just didn't expect you to use that word.
I'm known to use the wrong words at times and mispronounce them. Like I once thought that when you what even is it that when I thought people were going into a lobster bisque. An abyss?
An abyss.
Bis.
So you thought it was a bisque.
Yes. Yeah. So I thought that was Sean one time goes, Pat, they're not going into soup. But so I'm known for that. But if you're just always around that, it's got to be less enjoyable. And like
there's no doubt that not earning it. I mean, and there's consequences to that too. We see that all the time with people who come into money. The rich kids are always, I love Barbara Corcoran on Shark Tank. As soon as she finds out you're rich, she drops out. That's, I don't know if I totally am on board with that, but I get the rationale behind it.
Yeah, I do, and it's just not quite like I recently, as I spoke on the episode on the podcast a few episodes ago, that I went on my first private jet that I paid for. It was cool. It hurt the bill, but it was cool because like of what I've been doing to try to get to that level.
No doubt.
It wasn't cool just because it was on a private jet.
Yeah.
It was cool because I was like, I'm on a private jet going to the Kentucky Derby, and this is awesome because of what I've been doing to try to get to this point.
Right.
So I
it must
agree
be
with
a massively rude awakening for like the Bezos children to. I mean, they're probably not ever going to be awoken to it, but like imagine like them getting cut off. Like I know, I think it was Mr. Wonderful. He cuts his kids off, or told them like you get like 1 year after college, and then you get nothing from me. That's interesting, and I agree with that with the principle. But it's very interesting in terms of like the awakening for like now I have to like how hard it actually is to make money.
No, I agree with you. It's you just can't. It's like I've always done it. You said this, you just touched on it. It's like getting on to a. It's like playing a video game, but just playing the last end of it. Like the last part of it. Like the whole part of enjoying winning the game is because you just played the game for however long to do it.
It's just like it's like the second shortcut in Wario Stadium, where you just jump right back over.
Yes,
and it's
very
like
difficult.
It is. I've done it like once ever.
Yeah, I think I've only done it like once or twice ever too.
Like there's no journey, there's no climb, and every super rich person says the best. I know it's great. They said the best part about it is like the journey along. Once you get there, it's not as fun.
Yeah, so I take the journey. Like the one thing I will say is that like baseball players often say the best part was the minor leagues. Mm-hmm. I disagree with that.
You're an idiot.
Yes, I think the big leagues is the best because of the minor leagues, but it's not. The minor leagues are not the best.
The minor leagues to me. And it's a different experience coming from where I was, but the minor leagues were by far the most fun years of my life. I mean, just being out on the road in the middle of nowhere. The traveling was a nuisance.
Yes, of course.
And being in those clubhouses, some of those brutal facilities was a nuisance. But we had, the group you're with plays a really big role, no doubt. But like I had so much fun with the coaching staffs that we had, and getting to know the guys, watching the players. Like for me, I guess it was a little easier because I wasn't trying to get called up in the middle of the season. But it was like really exciting to see other guys, like guys you liked, get called up, moved up, and eventually make it to the big leagues. And we just had so much fun in the minor leagues. So, and having been in the NBA, again, the NBA there's a lot of glamour to that position, but for me, the minor leagues was significantly more fun than the NBA.
Yeah. Yeah. The minor leagues, I know you always said that too. You didn't mind the travel as much as I did. I've never been a road trip guy. You don't mind road trips all that much. I've just never been that way. We're on record, or I'm on record right now that I hope that to never go back to a West Virginia football game unless I'm on a PJ to Morgantown. That's what I prefer. I think everyone would prefer that.
Yeah.
Except for Dad. Apparently he loves the drive because it's reminiscent. It's of the olden days for him.
Yeah.
But
it's long.
It's long, and then you're not there for very long. You're there for a day or two, then you're back on the road back home.
Yeah.
And like I said, we could theoretically get on a PJ early morning, get out there. How long did that flight be, Sean?
Depends on the plane. If you're on like what do you have? Wheels up?
A mid-size is what.
Wheels up. I mean, you're probably talking an hour.
An hour. That just warms my heart. That just warms my heart.
Yeah.
You're an hour out there. You get it. Let's say you leave at 9 a.m. Get down there at 10. You go tailgate for a little bit. Go into the game.
Yeah.
And then you have a little fun. Maybe go to the bar afterward. Have a drink.
I think
and then you're back on the plane home.
I think that is
magnificent.
That is sublime.
Sublime.
That is sublime. If you could think about like wake up in the morning, take a car over to Teterboro, get in the plane, you land in Morgantown, 10 a.m. You get out, you take a car to the football parking lot, I mean, you just feel refreshed. You're comfortable. You had a couple sangrias on the plane, right? And then
have sangria.
No, this is first thing that came
I know
to
you
mind.
hated it last on Sunday, whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure it was good, Mark, but just not my guy. And then you tailgate. You go to the game. Noon kickoff. If you're PJ, and I'm sure you're not. With the bleacher creatures,
No.
So you had a box or something or field passes.
Which, by the way, you got to look into that. I'm serious about that the other day.
Oh, okay. That's fun, done. And then like after the game ends at 3:30, and then you hit the fish bowl for a couple bevs, and then take a car up. 6:00 flight, landing at 7. You're watching the primetime game from your living room. Man, that is sublime.
Sublime.
That is a dream.
Sublime.
Wake up, fly in and out of Morgantown on the same day. Yeah. And it makes losing way better.
Yeah, we talk
because
about
there's nothing worse than a 7-hour drive home after getting shellacked.
Yeah, it doesn't really affect me all that much, but the recalibration on the plane would be beautiful. Oh, let's talk about the game. And we'll take Neil with us. Neil, come on. We'll fly you home.
Neil, get your ass on the plane. We have to discuss some things.
Get your ass on this plane. I don't know how we got there, but it is.
We were just talking about $1 billion.
Yeah, it should be known for you folks at home. I know we do a lot of baseball content right now. We are going to be transitioning throughout the year from baseball into football. Baseball will always be a topic on the show because it's near and dear to my heart. But we'll certainly be talking about college football. Me and Sean are big. Sean is way bigger. But I also like the West Virginia Mountaineers, so we'll be talking a lot of college football. Me and Sean love college football season, along with some NFL. Transitioning to the NBA, college basketball, which will be Sean's. Sean will be leading the charge with those, and then back into baseball. But I just wanted to keep people aware of that because obviously we really kind of got this podcast going during baseball season. Yeah, people think baseball.
Of course,
this certainly will be throughout the season because we're doing all year.
We
podcasts.
We got really good coverage in sports here. I mean,
yeah.
Baseball, basketball, that's pretty much it. But
baseball. But the thing is, the one sport that we neither of us played or we're a part of, we are big fans, or one of us is an outrageous fan of West Virginia.
I love college football.
I love college football too.
There's nothing better than college football. College sports is great.
Anywho, so that is the dream. That is the dream to be. I would almost, if I was rich enough, I'd go down for every home game. Maybe even the away games.
I mean, yeah. If you're PJ level, then that would be outstanding to be able to go down.
Would be outstanding.
Yeah,
would be outstanding. All right, question of the day, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see what the results are at the end of the show. But speaking of PJs and how to get one, Sorry We're Closed is brought to you by our friends over at WynnBET. WynnBET is bringing the excitement to Wynn Las Vegas to online sports betting. Whether you're a recreational player or a serious handicapper, WynnBET is your ticket to every exciting wager, from straight bets to parlays, teasers, and any exotic proposition wager you can dream up. Sign up today, and we have a new promo code, John.
A new one.
New promo code. Had to add a 1 to the end of it. I did not question WynnBET as to why, but we had to add a 1 next to it. So the promo code is SWC1. And after placing your first $50 wager, you'll receive $200 to bet with. There's also a $10 casino bonus for those in New Jersey and Michigan if you wager $10 as a first-time player. Again, the promo code is XSWC1. There's no better way to enjoy sports and to get a private jet than with some extra winnings in your pocket to use for all your favorite bets. Betting is a team sport. Join WynnBET team and bet with the best. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at WynnBET.com. Must be 21 and older. Participate only available. Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New York, New Jersey, and Tennessee and Virginia. I
threw you off your rhythm.
Damn it, Sean.
You're one good bet away from private jet.
We have to check with the WynnBET liability team. We are telling people they are one good bet away from a private jet. Theoretically, they are.
Yeah.
We're not lying.
No, we're not.
But
I'm not recommending.
Certainly not recommending. However,
or am I? Subject to terms of the play.
If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, which I actually believe is the actual hotline. But we are not recommending this.
Show is close to getting off the rails.
Theoretically. Fun fact, I watched the Elvis movie last night, and talking about gambling, supposedly one of the reasons that his manager's a real... Wow, I was about to say something, then I didn't because of mom and dad. You're welcome, guys. But he was apparently a real douche. And that was the better term, by the way. Apparently a real douche.
I think I know what you were going to say.
I don't know if you do. It's something that we have said before. I know you certainly have not said this on the podcast.
Are the initials CB?
No, it was CM. The last word is mahogler, which I'm sure is the word.
Shout out Eric Hoggins.
Is that who you came up with that?
Yeah.
Ecogs. Also, congratulations, Matt Tenney. Congratulations, Matt
Just
Tenney.
absolutely killing it out there in LA.
I so wish that he had a...
It's going to be great.
If we had 250 people, because that's about 250, 300. The big ones are a little bit higher. If we had all of our listeners go to Matt Tenney's page and just congratulate him every week.
I know he does have an IG.
It's private though, isn't it?
No, he has a public one, but it's not like his personal page. He has like a photography page.
He's a photographer.
He actually has like sick photos.
Do you have the...
It's 10 visuals. TENN visuals.
Visuals.
On Instagram.
At 10 visuals. If you're listening to this, please go onto his page and congratulate him. And don't say why. Just say congrats, Matt Tenney. TENNEY.
Yes.
Matt Tenney. Congrats, Matt Tenney. Please go onto his page and do that.
Great guy.
Just give me 10 of you. That's all I need. Just give me 10 of you to congratulate him.
Even if one person does it, he's going to be like,
What?
What?
Oh, man. That would just be tremendous. Thank you for anyone that does that. Moving on. As we always do, Red Sox, Yankees, Sean.
Okay.
There isn't very much new things.
Well, the Yankees got no hit. Which
Yankees got
blows.
no hit. Which
they were a little shaky against.
They do.
They were a little shaky. Well, they get to play the A's the next.
Well,
the A's should be demoted to the minor leagues, by the way.
But
just their organization should be.
Yes.
The fact that they play in front of 12 people a day is a disgrace.
It's bad.
I think they're getting a new ballpark though.
They are, because they had to. Otherwise, the A's were leaving. That's Major League Baseball mandated it.
We will literally go anywhere else.
Yeah, Major League Baseball said that if the city of Oakland did not approve a new stadium, that the A's were leaving.
What would be where should they relocate to?
I don't know. Everyone's talking about a team in Nashville.
I know. Do you just get rid of the minor league team in that case?
Yeah.
You
can't have two teams in one.
I know. It'd
be great for the AAA team, though. The amount of moves between the teams. Yeah, just come on up. You just drive over.
Nashville.
Big league city. I think
sweet.
Indianapolis is a big league city. I'm trying to think where else I played that with big league cities. You could always throw a team over in Oklahoma City.
I was literally thinking
they
that.
have the
they
Dodgers,
have a minor league team
too.
The
Dodgers AAA team. At least they did back in 2000.
About like New Orleans.
New Orleans. I didn't play there, so I don't. It'd be more. I just remember Bourbon Street as a sixth grader. I don't remember it as a big league city. I'm sure it's fantastic.
I remember it as a big league city.
Okay, fair enough.
Shout out Tim DeFrancesco. You know what I'm talking about.
But Red Sox, Yankees. The Yankees did get no hit, and they actually got no hit for like 15 consecutive innings. Yeah, they didn't get a hit till like the seventh inning of the next game.
Giancarlo broke it,
but they bounced back.
Yeah,
as a good team does, as the best team in baseball does.
6-4 in their last 10.
Yeah,
that's what you're looking for when you're sliding.
Mm-hmm.
I think the news out of the Yankees camp this week is Aaron Judge-Poo settling for $19 million, 1-year deal. It was a good move. Don't even walk into the room.
No, it was a fantastic move by both
sides.
Parties.
Moved a little bit. You're making $19 million.
That's just me. Call it.
You think that'll do all right out there in the Big Apple? 19 mil.
I think it will do. I think it'll do just fine.
Couple PJs down to back to his alma mater of Fresno State to watch the Bulldogs take on Louisiana Tech.
Very, very possible. Very possible.
Probably not though.
Anywho,
what kind of plane the Yankees fly on?
Probably a good one.
Probably the same as Red Sox, right?
Red Sox was Twins were great. Although I didn't fly enough.
Red Sox
I
worse
didn't
than
fly
Twins.
enough with the Red Sox to know if they had a different plane. But the Red Sox plane was like a standard plane. Yeah, I know. Just a 747. Just you had it. But I only flew on it once.
We did that once with the Lakers.
And it could have been a family trip. I don't even remember.
We had one trip where we had to ride on a normal plane from Phoenix back to LA. We might as well have been on a we might as well have been on a bus.
Yeah.
People they simply could not stand. This is actually a good story. And since we're on stories, when I was when we flew into Memphis, the normal hotel was like booked for some reason. So we had to stay at an airport Marriott, which in the NBA, as the Lakers, that's like staying at the Motel 6. Lovely hotel. Would have been a 10 out of 10 on the minor league circuit. And I remember walking into this hotel. People were flabbergasted that we had to stay at such horrendous accommodations. There was like three kids, like three like high school kids, guys in the lobby, like looked like they were doing homework. Imagine being a high school kid doing homework in the lobby of your hotel, and the actual Lakers walk through the door, right? These kids were blown away, absolutely blown away. And I remember Meta World Peace, and I was trying to get a sandwich, and he walks up to the front desk, and he's like, he goes, "Yeah, can I just get like a turkey sandwich sent up to my room, like room 510?" And they're like, "Oh, sorry, sir, we don't do room service here." And he goes, "Oh, no, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, just a turkey sandwich. Just have it sent up to my room." And they're like, "Oh, no, sir. Well, we actually have this little convenience store over here that you can get like a pre-made sandwich." And he's like, "Yeah, no, I get that. But could you just send like a turkey club up to my room so that we can, get that taken care of?" And it's like, "Sir, like we just don't have, like you have to get it here. We don't have anybody's to send anything up to your room." And he like stops for a second and he goes, "I don't understand." And I was like, wow, how unbelievable is it that these guys just don't comprehend a hotel service where they can't have a turkey sandwich delivered to the room at 3:00 in the morning.
It is it is very interesting how these people live.
I mean, they don't live in the normal world.
No, they don't. They are saying these unbelievable hotels. They have just unbelievable accommodations.
Mm-hmm.
It truly is very, very interesting how just all this, you can't understand how you can't get a turkey sandwich right now. Why can't I have a turkey sandwich?
I don't get this. You just bring me a sandwich.
Yes.
Take it out of the deli, put it on a plate, and bring it to me. Damn it.
Yeah, but Aaron Judge is going to live good. He's going to live good at 19 million.
Yeah.
He's going to live good at 19 million. But the Yankees bounce back as they have. They've done a very good job. Still have yet to reach double-digit losses at home. 33-9, 22-11 on the road, 55-20 now on the season. 12.5 games up on the Blue Jays, 13 on the Sox. Sox did not do so great against the Blue Jays this series. And Red Sox, the big number everyone's talking about right now. And I'm going to botch this. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to botch this. I have Google. I can just look it up. The Red Sox in the month of June. Let's see here. Red Sox in June, because there's a thing going around. Yes. The Red Sox 18-4 in June. 18-4.
Wow.
Caught up a half game on the Yankees. That means
that sucks.
They lost 4 total games, and they only caught up a half game on the Yankees. An outrageous. I don't think people are talking enough about how outrageous that statistic is. That is just in another world as far as it's tough to have a better month than that.
I mean, if you really look at the history of baseball, I mean, it wouldn't shock me if that was the best month in Red Sox history in baseball. I mean, it's so much history, but
it wouldn't shock me because 4 losses in a month is outrageous.
Because you can only do 3 spots better.
That this other team that you're trying to compete with is only a half a game worse than you.
And it's been their worst month of the season.
Yeah, it's either they won one less game or lost one more game.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that happened, which is just Just an outrageous thing. But again, we say almost every week now, not much to add to the Yankee storyline. They continue to play well. The Aaron Judge is a good storyline. This show kind of, to me, that is a really good indicator that he'll stay in the Bronx this coming year. That these two sides, instead of going into a fight and coming out with a winner, these two sides decided, hey, listen, it's not worth it. Let's just meet down the middle and go have some fun.
Yes.
And I think that is a really, 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 really good indicator for this Yankee ball club moving forward. The Red Sox, on the other hand, unbelievable month of June, really playing well. And June's not over. Still got 2 more days left in the month, but really, really good month. Again, not much to add to the Red Sox storyline. They're moving up. They did hold second place for a day or two. They are a half game back of the Blue Jays right now. The Blue Jays team still kind of squandering. They're not quite as good as everyone thought they'd be.
Yeah,
I do believe the Red Sox, Yankees, again, we talked about last week, stay first and second of this team, this division.
Right.
Something I want to talk about, and something to make note, we do have our first guest on this week. We're bringing in one of the lead traders for WynnBET. And something we're going to talk about with him, but I also want to talk briefly with you before we bring him on. Dave Roberts, manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers, came out and said that in his opinion, the NL East is the toughest division in baseball.
Interesting.
Now it's just quite frankly not.
I feel like his division's tougher.
The AL East is tougher than the NL East.
I know that, but I'm saying I feel like the NL West is tougher than the NL East.
You meant the NL West. I said NL West. My apologies. Great pick.
But I also think the AL East is too.
Yeah, they're all 3 are tough divisions.
Yeah.
The NL East is clearly the worst one of those 3.
Yeah.
But you just looking top to bottom here, and the quote he's used that in part of his quote. Look at top to bottom. We are playing like really tough teams every night. AL East, we have 4 really, really good clubs.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. Dave Roberts said the NL West is...
I corrected myself.
Okay.
The NL West.
Now things make sense.
With the Dodgers, Giants, Padres, then you have the Rockies and D-backs, which we spent almost the entire podcast last week making fun of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
As much as the D-backs get smoked, having worked for them for 4 years, it always felt like, hey, we're putting some good pieces together, but there's these juggernauts over here with the Dodgers and the Giants, where it's just like this is like it's almost felt impossible every single year. And the D-backs are okay this year, and I feel like even in the recent years, like they've had quality teams. I don't think contender teams, but like playoff teams that just could never get over the hump.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. The thing at the end of the day here at this NL West versus AL East little rivalry, now that Dave Roberts said this, is the AL East has 4 teams over the 40 win mark right now. 4 teams. The NL West has 3. The Diamondbacks and Dodgers and Rockies are both 34 and 33 respectively, while the Orioles have 35. So from top to bottom, the AL East is better. It has the best team in baseball in the New York Yankees right now. You have 3 really, really, really good teams in the Blue Jays, Red Sox, and Rays. And then you have a Baltimore Orioles team that's rounding out the division at 35 wins.
Yeah.
35 wins. I mean, that's more than the Rockies and the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, and you got to look historically speaking on the division too. I mean, the AL East has been the cream of the crop for 30 years at least. The NL West is at least they've been good for a long time now, but it's the AL East is always everyone's looking there for every year. Looking for World Series champions out of that division.
No question about it. And then you add on top of the fact, on top of all of that this Dodgers team is like 7.5 games back from the Yankees.
Yeah.
7.5 games. Are you the best team in the National League right now, or the Mets still? Mets are still the best team in the National League. You're the second best team in the National League, and you're 7.5 back from the top of this division. It's just, it's not even close. In my opinion.
It's just like you're discredited when when he said it was when I thought you said it was the NL East. I was like, wow, how interesting.
Yes, no,
but when he says it's the NL West, that's like the freaking Big 12 saying that we're the best football in America.
Yeah,
top to bottom. If you ever have to say the words top to bottom, you're not the best.
You're not.
Top to bottom, we got the best. We had the best teams. Okay,
because right there, you're telling me, in my opinion, and this is just what I believe, is that you're telling me that the top is not the best.
Yeah.
Off their top.
100%.
Now you're talking about the bottom. Your bottom's not the best. You have the Baltimore Orioles have better record than two of your teams in your division, and then you have you have the what team is the other 40-win team in the league besides the Dodgers and Padres? Giants. Giants are 40 wins. In the AL East, you have the Red Sox at 42, the Blue Jays at 42, and the Rays at 40.
Yeah,
you're just not.
And I also think that
they have a tough division.
Yeah,
nothing against the NL West. They have a tough division, but they're not the AL East.
But I think where we really want to look, I don't know if it was actually this guy, but I think I saw Manny Ramirez or some sort of legendary Red Sox recently say, if you haven't played in Boston or New York, you've never been in the big leagues. And
wow, I am one of the very few big leaguers.
I know. I'm saying like I think I got the sense that it was like you have to have played at these stadiums. You don't have to be
okay.
But you got to take into consideration the fact that pretty much, I don't know how Baltimore does, but pretty much all of the teams in the AL East, you're going into places that have good fans.
Yeah.
The NL West, Giants and Dodgers are good, but Diamondbacks are not. The Rockies are not. Is there another team in the division?
Oh, in the NL West?
Yeah.
Rockies, Diamondbacks, Giants,
Padres.
Padres are good.
Padres are all right.
Padres are 45-31 right now.
But I'm saying fan support wise, like you.
Oh, I think they have a decent
like
fan
you
base.
go to Boston, you go to New York, like it's a different
them.
energy.
Not them.
Toronto is traditionally a good one.
Yeah, but it's not the Dodgers.
Yeah.
But they have a good one. I've heard a lot of good things about going to San Diego and watching a game.
Okay.
And when they're good, it's when they're good.
Okay.
But no, it's not the fan base.
Like you're just playing against you're playing in different environments than when you go to the Diamondbacks. I wish I've been to opening day at Chase Field a couple times, and it's nice, but it's not Yankee Stadium, Dodger Stadium.
Listen, Sean, I hear you. I absolutely hear you. A quick look around the league before we bring in our guest. Rounding out the American League, obviously Yankees, Blue Jays, Red Sox, Rays, all fighting. Really, Blue Jays, Red Sox, and Rays are all fighting for a wild card spot here because it really this month right here. If any of those teams want to have any chance against the Yankees, they have to capitalize on this month, and almost all of them have to capitalize on the month because all three of them need all other three of them to beat the Yankees.
Yeah.
To take those, because it can't just be the Reds. If the Red Sox go sweep the Yankees in a 4-game set in July. Okay, they caught up 4 games. They're now 9 back. You still need the Blue Jays to go beat the Yankees. You need the Rays to go beat the Yankees. You need the Orioles to beat the Yankees. So they all need to help each other here. And then whoever's the cream of the crop of the other 4 has the chance to compete with the Yankees. Other than that, no one's gonna fucking chance. So that's the AL East, but that's the Yankees right now for you. AL Central, Guardians were red hot until they ran to the buzzsaw that is the Boston Red Sox and got swept. They were atop of the AL Central. They are now 3 games back. A quick turnaround for them. The Twins have taken the division there, 43-34, 5-5 in their last. It shows you how kind of interesting that division is. The Twins are 5-5 in their last 10. The other 4 teams are all 4-6 in the last 10. So not a great division. Astros really did a good job and showed that there are teams out there that compete with this New York Yankee ball club because they certainly did with the Yankees.
Good pitching.
Good pitching, and that's what's always going to take against this Yankee ball club. You got to simmer the bats down, and then compete on the other end as far as hitting is concerned. But the Astros has a really nice handle on the AL West. They're 10 games up on the Rangers, 12 in the Angels, 12.5 Mariners, 22.5 for the Athletics. Sean's favorite AAA ball club.
So brutal.
They are them and the Royals really competing for the worst team in the American League. Over to the NL East, and this is one of the topics we're going to ask our guest. Are the Mets for real? They are now in a dogfight for the NL East. They are 4 games up on the Braves. The Braves have
Braves a good squad,
and they really come alive here. They've really come alive. 47-28 though, 5-5 in their last 10. The Braves are 43-32. The Phillies quietly still around, 39-36.
Yeah, they've been picking it up.
8 games back. NL Central, the division that no one cares about. The Brewers.
These guys still playing games out there?
Yeah, the Brewers and Cardinals. It's pretty much just them.
Yeah,
Everyone
I
else is
know.
horrendous.
I know.
They are the Cardinals are half game back from the Brewers, and then the Pirates, who are in third place, they have a 1-game lead on third place, and they are 13 games back.
Oh boy.
Brewers and Cardinals 43 and 33, 43 and 34 respectively, and then it drops off considerably to the Pirates at 29 and 45. Cubs and Reds rounding out that division. In the NL West, the
Cubs are in last.
Cubs are in second to last,
My gosh.
but they're only a game and a half up on the Reds. Cubs are really bad. NL West, Dodgers and Padres have the division right now. Padres 1.5 back behind the Dodgers. Giants, Diamondbacks, Rockies round out that division. In reality, the Giants still in contention there, but Diamondbacks and Rockies not quite so much. Now, to talk a little bit more about this Major League Baseball season and what we have in store for us, AL East-wise, NL East-wise, Red Sox, Yankee-wise. We bring on our first ever guest. Sean. Do you know who it is?
Of course I do.
You better know it is. I hope I pronounced the name right. Matt Lindeman. Matt Lindeman. Enjoy this interview with Matt Lindeman, the senior trader for WynnBET. We get his picks long term, and enjoy the show. All right, guys. The interview you've all been waiting for. Matt Lindeman, senior lead trader, I believe is the correct job description for you. Yeah, over at WynnBET, our new partners over here. And we're going to dive into Red Sox Yankees to start off. Matt, thanks for joining us. I know that you're currently talking to two very amateur gamblers, so you're going to have to help us out. Yeah,
I'm kind of getting used to that at this point, in this space. So that's all good.
Yeah, when I first started talking to the WynnBET people, I was telling them that they were going to have to be okay with me really diving in to being a horrendous gambler because that was my whole baseball career. That's what I did in baseball, and this is what I do in gambling now.
Hey, I mean, I spent a solid 5 to 7 years losing, just like everybody else. You have to be a horrendous gambler to get good at it. So, I mean, it's just part of the process.
Gotta start somewhere, right?
Can you get good at it?
What's that?
Can you get good at it?
I think you can, yeah. I mean, it helps a little bit if you move to Vegas and work in a risk room with a bunch of guys that are booking bets, but sure. I've seen it done.
Yeah, so I put $6,000 on Mo Donegal to win the Kentucky Derby. Apparently, that was a very amateur bet.
Yeah, I'm actually from Kentucky, and I don't even bet on the Derby most of the years. I mean, it's hard enough to win in sports betting with the takeout they got in horse racing. It's really tough. So
yeah, he was from my hometown. I got peer pressured into it. It was a whole thing. But moving on, arguably the two best teams in baseball the past month or so, the New York Yankees in the Bronx here. We're located in New York or right outside of it. And the Boston Red Sox. Boston Red Sox are like 18-4 in the month of June and gained a half game on the New York Yankees, which is an outrageous statistic that we just talked about earlier today. What do you have on those two teams?
Yeah, well, the Yankees are finally living up to, I think, the market's expectations of, the last two seasons. They're that team that when you look at the numbers every day on the screen, they're probably one of the best teams in baseball, and they just, for whatever reason, couldn't put it together. And it seems like finally they're staying healthy. I mean, outside the bullpen, they're staying healthy. The starting pitching is doing what it's supposed to be doing. And I mean, Aaron Judge is just having a ridiculous season. So I think the Yankees are finally, after a couple of years of not really doing what they're supposed to be doing, they're finally playing to their potential. The Red Sox are a team we're actually big fans of because I took a ton of money on their under-season wins before the season. A lot of people seem to think they were going to regress quite a bit. So we need them to go over their win total, which I think was like 86.5, 87.5, something like that. So we're rooting for them. I do think that their run right now is a little bit more of just a hot streak than something that can be maintained. I've got a really tough time seeing them finishing, better than third in that division. I think they're going to be battling with the Rays for third. And the Yankees and Blue Jays have separated themselves, in my opinion. So until the Red Sox get a little healthier, I think they need to get Eovaldi back to solidify the rotation, and they got to figure out some stuff in the bullpen. But until then, I think they're just a step behind those other two teams right now.
All right, well, I aggressively disagree with you. As a Red Sox fan myself, obviously we need Eovaldi back. We need Chris Sale to come back and actually be something. It seems as though he looks good down in Fort Myers in his rehab starts. But It should be an interesting. We've had a very interesting June in Boston. I'm going up there for the Red Sox Yankees series, which should be a four game set. Should be hopefully not a miserable one to go to. Because this Yankee team is absolutely outrageous. I mean, again, like I said, 18-4 in June for the Red Sox to only gain a half game. I mean, I don't even know what to say about that.
I've also been unimpressed with the Blue Jays. They have like a little spunk to the team, but there's nothing I've seen so far. Like I think the Red Sox excite me more. Maybe it's because I live with you, but I have more. I feel like there's more substance to that team than there is to the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough to say. What do you think, Matt? Do you think the Red Sox? I know you said the Red Sox are a step behind the Blue Jays and the Yankees. What do you think? Or probably a few steps behind the Yankees. But do you think the Red Sox, if Sale comes back and pitches the way he's capable of, do you think they have a legitimate chance at second place?
Yeah, I think if the Red Sox got Eovaldi and Sale back, it's certainly a lot closer with them and the Blue Jays. But right now, the thing that probably puts the Blue Jays over the edge for me is Gausman and Manoah at the top of the rotation. I've loved Gausman since he figured some things out when he was with the Giants last year, and that was a great signing for the Blue Jays. I mean, to get rid of Robbie Ray, I know he won the Cy Young, but to get rid of him and bring in Gausman, I think that's a huge upgrade. And then Manoah's coming around, and Barrios is a guy that he's inconsistent, but he could show up in the playoffs and be consistent for him, or be a solid guy for him. So I do agree that there's a lot of flash to the Blue Jays. They're young, they haven't done it, but man, I think they've been to a couple of playoffs now. They got a little bit of a taste. They haven't really done anything yet, and the home field in that place is going to be outrageous in October. I mean, they haven't really been able to even go to any games in the last couple of years, and now they finally have a contender. So. I like the Blue Jays. I know they're flashy. I know they probably have, not as much substance, but I think that team, I mean, the lineup is so dangerous. And if you've got two aces at the top of rotation, that's something I think can take you far in October.
I actually think that the Blue Jays are cocky enough to push through that and be able to make some noise regardless.
Yeah, I listen. I think the Red Sox are going to win the division, but But staying in the AL East, but adding a little bit of flavor, Dave Roberts. We just touched on this earlier today. Dave Roberts talked about the NL West being a possibly better division and a tougher division to play in than the NL and than the AL East. What are your thoughts on that, Matt?
I don't even understand why. I don't know where he would get that really, but
it's a homer comment.
The Orioles are one of the best last place teams in forever. I mean, I'm very impressed by the Orioles. I mean, we try to find reasons to bet them most of the time. The Rays are the Rays. They're not quite as strong this year, but they're still solid. They're gonna get the most out of their talent. And I mean, look at the NL West. You got the Rockies. They're just the Rockies. They're probably good for 70 to 75 wins every year. And then the D-backs are one of the bottom feeders in the National League. So I don't really think it's that close. I think if the Padres had Machado and Tatis and they're fully healthy, then it might be a little bit more of an argument. But right now, the AL East is far and away the best division in baseball.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. I feel like it's that Michael Scott gift. Thank you, because it is. It's ridiculous. I read that yesterday, and I couldn't believe what I was reading.
A straight homer comment. It's a straight homer comment.
I want to ask you guys, do you think they should get rid of the divisions at this point? I mean, this is embarrassing.
Well, they basically have. It's a formality now.
Yeah, it's a formality. It's a way to keep travel not horrible because you play your division the most.
That's a big one, probably.
These central divisions, man, it's just they need to do two divisions.
No, we actually just before we brought you on, we just went over the NL Central and we classified it as the division no one cares about.
Right, it's really bad. And AL Central is not much better.
Well, we can do a quick look ahead because I'm curious about this, and we're going to have you on the podcast a bunch of times, Matt. But the interesting part of that is not so much about the divisions in baseball. A quick look to college football. Do you think they should be getting rid of all those conferences and making just the Power 30 or whatever?
It's gonna get me fired up.
Keep in mind, Matt, before you say anything, Matt, huge West Virginia Mountaineer fans.
Oh, okay, all right. So I don't know if you want realignment or not. I don't know. No, I'm all for getting. I mean, I'm for keeping the conferences, but getting rid of the divisions in the conference. I think that we're having the same problem. You see it like in the ACC with Clemson's division, and you see it with the SEC West, where it's just and then obviously Ohio State's division. It's just way too overloaded on some of these divisions. And I think they tried their best when they originally did it, but I want to see the best teams in the conference championship every year. I don't want to see Wake Forest play Pitt. I don't want to see Iowa get drubbed by Michigan. So I really hope they make some changes and, scrap that in all the conferences.
ACC just did that like yesterday, I think.
I think they did, yeah.
Yeah, that was always ridiculous. It was always Clemson versus somebody.
I'm a Kentucky fan, though, so I don't know. I might be regretting that if we don't get to play Vandy every year.
I respect that. All right, since that was completely off topic, getting back on topic, the Mets. We're going to go into the NL East, and this is the only team I want to talk about in the NL East because as guys from the New Jersey, New York area, the Mets historically are always the Mets. In our area, it's always like if you're a
JV.
Yeah, you're the Mets and you're the Jets fan because the Jets suck, and then the Giants have recently sucked, but then it's Giants, Yankees. But are they for real this year? What do we got on them?
Yeah, obviously, if they have DeGrom and Scherzer, even just Scherzer, they're pretty legit. Like, similar to the Yankees, finally a team that I think after last year, they didn't quite live up to what they really should have been the best team in that division last year. And then, had injury issues like they always do. If they stay healthy, that's a huge if. Like the thing I always say about the Mets and the Angels is they have the two worst training staffs in baseball. Like their guys are never healthy. I don't know. I don't want to, maybe that's not it, but they either have the worst luck or they're doing something wrong because they never have the guys they need down the stretch. And it makes me nervous to ever predict anything good for the Mets because DeGrom is just one bad pitch away from being done forever. It just always seems like something goes wrong. So I do think they're legit. And I think they got argument for being, one of the best teams in the National League, but I think the Dodgers are going to be coming for everybody in October. So I don't know if I'm too excited about the Mets' chances.
Yeah, honestly, I agree with you. In the sense that I actually think that the Braves might win that division. I think the Braves have been really good they won 13 straight.
The defending champs.
Obviously they lost Freddie Freeman, which apparently seems like in the recent news that it came out that he's not thrilled about that.
They were like
fired his agent.
Furious.
This whole thing's going on right now. I guarantee he hires Boris Corp. But when you talk, I want to touch quickly on you mentioning about blaming the training staff because you're talking to a former player and you're talking to a former strength coach for the Diamondbacks.
Oh no!
Yeah, the strength coach for the Diamondbacks, the doldrums of baseball, the Diamondbacks.
No, well, actually, to quote our wonderful guest here, the perennial bottom feeders.
Yes, perennial bottom feeders, Diamondbacks, and he was a strength coach.
No.
Yep, he was a strength coach for the Lakers, who were horrendous that year.
Yeah, we were mopping up the basement of both MLB and NBA during my tenure.
So, Matt, as a player, I 100% agree with you. You always blame the training staff. I hate them. Good. They're terrible. Every time I was hurt and I didn't get better quick enough, it was their fault.
Let me tell you something. When I was working for the Lakers, Mitch Kupchak, the general manager, got fired in the middle of the year, and they brought in Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka. And the introductory press conference, I show up to this thing because I'm like, dude, this is sick. Magic Johnson's my boss now. And one of the media guys raises his hand and says, what do you attribute to the lack of success and the struggles of the Lakers so far, in the last few years? And he looks this guy dead in the eye and he goes, I just think it's a lack of conditioning. And I just slowly, like Homer Simpson backing into the bush in the GIF, I'm like, get me out of this room. That was the first time where I started to question what I'll be doing next season.
He was then fired almost immediately after that press conference.
Yeah, that's rough. That's a tough answer to hear from your new boss.
Lack of conditioning.
I never even met the guy. He's like, I'll tell you what's the problem in this organization.
See that tall white guy back there? It's him. But we are known. So I played for the Minnesota Twins the year he was the strength coach for the Lakers, and we are known that the moment the Light brothers leave your organization, you're bound to do much better because the Twins have been pretty good ever since.
We instantly signed LeBron James.
All right. Yeah. No. I'll be careful about knocking on strength staffs too much. But yeah, just
Well, here's the interesting thing about strength staff, and I think most people are like, as a strength coach, most of us kind of get it. In the big leagues, in the pro level, like when I see that, like I know the guys for the Angels and I know some of the guys for the Mets. In situations like that, a lot of the players just go rogue. They have their own trainers or they don't. So it's really hard. Like they'll get the blame because that's the way sports works. But a lot of the times, like we had, guys with the Lakers who never worked with us. They hired their own guys. They traveled with us. So it's just so hard to really pinpoint who's at fault unless you're in the clubhouse and see the dynamics.
Yeah, I can pinpoint it. It's the strength coaches.
It's always the strength
I can
coach.
pinpoint. Don't worry, man. I got this. I can pinpoint. It's the strength coach department. It's strength coach and the guys that are stretching. What are they called again? Athletic trainers.
No, yeah, you should call them that. The guys that stretch
Stretch
you. Hey, guys who stretch me, get over here. Do your job. Make me a sandwich.
That should make me a sandwich. Okay, Matt. We need you, though, however, because as it stands right now, and this is what I know I talked to you previously about doing this, we need some futures picks because me and Sean are just recently got into the gambling world. As it stands right now, they're pretty much the only two things I know how to do are bet the Red Sox and West Virginia money lines, which I learned that just means you're picking them to win. So help us out. Get us some future picks so we can make some money and fly in more private jets.
All right. Well, I know you want me to give you a World Series pick, but I'm going to throw you a curveball and give you something that I think actually might be a good bet that might be available right now. I like Dylan Cease to win the Cy Young. I think he's a good bet right now. If you look at that guy over the last month, he has been lights out. He gets to pitch in the AL Central, whereas Gosman and McClanahan have to pitch in the AL East the rest of the year. And he personally, I think he was better than those two guys coming into the season. I had high expectations for him. So if you look at the odds coming into the season, he was anywhere from like 7 to 10 to 1. I think he's gone up to like 15 to 20 to 1 now. So if you can snag that, that's definitely the best future I got. In terms of World Series, though, if you want who I think is going to make the World Series, I don't really have any bets or anything, but I like the Dodgers, man. I think that organization is miles ahead of everyone else in the National League. I think that the Braves knocking him off last year was probably a little bit of a mix of revenge from the year prior, and the Dodgers just being a little too overconfident. But I think after the way they got knocked out last year, that's an organization and a team that's going to be full strength ahead, ready to go in the postseason. I think, once they get their pitching staff healthy, they're going to be good. So I think the Dodgers are coming out of the National League. And, really just by default, I think it's going to be the Blue Jays or Yankees in the AL. Like, I don't think the Astros are a threat. I'm not scared of the AL Central. And the Red Sox don't really scare me all that much. So I think it's going to be one of those two teams. I'm going to take the Blue Jays, but I certainly don't think you can go wrong either way. Sorry for not taking the Red Sox, but
interview over.
Yeah, I would love a Dodgers-Yankees World Series. We've been needing that forever. That'd be really cool to see.
D-backs maybe in the playoffs.
Hey man, I'm kind of a Reds fan too, so I'm right there with
tough.
you. So
I hear you.
All right, so we got. You said Yankees Dodgers World Series. You believe?
Yeah. I'll go with Dodgers Blue Jays.
Dodgers Blue Jays. Wow.
That would be a curveball.
I sneaky love it because the Yankees are known to blow it in the postseason, at least for the last 10 years.
I don't trust the Yankees yet.
My thing with these young teams is you have a window where the pressure's not too high yet, that you can go out there and have fun. And the Blue Jays haven't quite entered the high pressure window. So if they can do it this year, this is a year where they get to go out there and kind of still have a little bit of fun. But after this, the pressure is really going to start to heat up for some of those guys. So they need to do it now if they're going to do it.
Listen, I love the pick. I actually hate the pick. And this will be the last. I told you were going to be on the podcast a lot. This is actually the last time I'm ever bringing you on. Maybe
we'll see what he thinks about the Mountaineers.
We'll
come
see.
Fall.
College. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on teams playing well when Mercury's in retrograde?
That's Mo. You need to have Mo on for that one.
We gotta have Mo on. Okay.
We need information on that.
We need information on that because part of the college football season is during retrograde. Part of it is not. We need to know what's going on. But national title season is retrograde. So we're gonna need.
I think Nick Saban was born during Mercury retrograde.
The funny part is we are inputting this interview in the middle of the podcast, and they have no idea why we're asking that yet because the retrograde portion's at the end of it.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned for retrograde later. But Matt, dude, thanks a lot for having us on. I will both actually be out in Vegas late July. We'll certainly try to have you back on if you're around, and we'll do it in the WynnBET studio, which is absolutely magnificent. But again, thanks for coming on, man, and we'll talk to you soon. All right? Yeah,
guys, thanks for having me. Do it again soon.
Thanks, Matt.
That was Matt Lindeman. That interview brought to you by WynnBET. WynnBET is bringing excitement of Wynn Las Vegas to online sports betting and casino play. Get in all your favorite teams, players, and sports from From boosted parlays to live in-game odds on every major sport, they have what you need to win. Sign up today and use promo code XSWC1. And after placing your first $50 wager, you will receive $200 to bet with. There is also $10 casino bonus for those in New Jersey and Michigan if you wager $10 on your first-time player. Again, promo code is SWC1. Offer subject to terms and conditions at WynnBET.com. Must be 21 or older to participate. Only available in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New York, New Jersey, Tennessee, and Virginia. Matt Lindeman, thank you for that. Thank you for that, for joining the
Great interview.
Great interview. First interview we've had, Sean. First interview you had on this version of the podcast, because obviously I did interviews prior to having you on as my co-host, but I'm sure we're going to have many more guests to come. I'm sure Matt will be a returning guest because he's going to help us as we are amateur traders, as we are amateur gamblers. We're not
Very advanced traders.
Yes, amateur gamblers, as we mentioned with Matt. He's going to help us along the way here as we learn that pretty much the only thing I know how to do is do the Red Sox and West Virginia money line, which I found out about a month ago is just picking them to win.
I just recently, as of last year, learned how to understand what it means +7, -7. So like who's the favorite there?
Yep.
So I understand why are we -42 in this game? We were supposed to win this.
Matt's going to certainly help us out as we move along here. But moving on to a little bit more fun, not fun, they're all fun, but
For funsies.
for funsies topic. Sean, please get out your whatever they're called, your notes. Sean,
Yes.
kick us off, Sean. We bring back the segment She's a 10, but we bring back the segment as it seems to be one of the fan favorites.
The fans can't stop sending us fan mail on this.
Not stop sending us.
All right, so we're starting.
Go ahead, Sean.
She's a 10. Ooh. How did you even think of this? She's a 10, but she was on my super sweet 16.
So I don't remember how I came up. I came up this morning with my morning cup of Joe. I remember
It tells
that
you a lot about the girl right there.
Exactly. Just the sheer thought. I remember watching that show a couple times. Those girls were atrocious.
They were 0 in the personality department.
0.
0.
And now
completely devoid of personality
and reality.
and heart. They were
talk about rich people.
They were the Grinch.
Yeah, we're talking about billionaire kids. We got these multi-millionaire kids that are, and I don't think any billionaires are on there, coming in, and they need to have Justin Bieber perform. If Justin Bieber doesn't perform, I hate my life.
Is that Usher?
Yeah. No.
Was that guy from the 90s?
Can't be listening to this shit.
This guy's like 46.
So I personally did this one because I know my number changes dramatically. If she's a 10, but she's on my Super 16, I think she's a 3.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
3's generous.
I think you give them 3 just in case they got better. But if
They matured.
Yeah, if they didn't, they're a 1.
Yeah.
I can't. There's nothing I can do with you.
Yeah, it's as bad as it gets.
You're useless.
It's as bad as it gets. We can't be having that. Absolutely cannot be having that. My turn. So you're a 3, but if she's with just the opportunity,
If she hasn't changed at all, then she's a 1.
Okay. She takes a picture. You're not gonna know I'm laughing. She takes a picture of every meal before you eat it.
Sounds familiar.
I know it does. Every single meal.
That's weird, but she's still a 10. I can deal with that.
I agree. I think she's still a 10. It annoys me a little bit.
Sometimes.
So here's the thing, and this is why I want to dive. I'll dive a little bit deeper in here. My opinion, she drops to an 8.
An 8?
An 8.
That's a huge drop.
And here's why. We just took a 10 to a 3. You
yeah,
said
but this
1.
person, she takes pictures. This other one's demanding Justin Bieber for her birthday party.
So if you see, that's the thing. And this is why, people like me more than you, is because I dive deeper.
Nobody dives deeper than me. I dive too deep.
That's true. If she is taking pictures, this is now in her other parts of her life. There are things that come with other parts of her life that make her worse. So I am saying that she's probably, remember last week we talked about taking pictures, a bunch of pictures at sporting events?
Yes.
We're probably doing that. We're probably vlogging. We might not be vlogging.
Yeah, I doubt she's vlogging.
But we're probably doing those other things that also annoy me. So I think she's taken down 2 and 8. I think that's great job, Patrick.
Yeah, I think that is a huge dip.
Well,
It's a huge dip.
next.
You're going to get hate mail for that. She's a 10, but this is my life. She has to stop and pet every single dog. I'm okay.
You want me to go?
Yeah, you can go.
Okay. Every single one.
You wrote it.
Yeah.
You got to move somewhere where there's no dogs. You can't be walking around this town.
It'd be a nightmare.
Yeah, you have to go. Yeah, no walking. We're gonna take a car.
I'm keeping her at a 10 because it's just an annoying trait that I don't think really goes into any other aspect of your life. So I'm keeping a 10, but I probably don't go on many walks with her.
Yeah, no walking. I'm never volunteering for that.
No.
And especially here.
Yeah, I think it's avoidable.
I mean, I'll put her down to a 9.7.
A 9.7.
Because it's totally doable, and avoidable, but that would be annoying. And I'm a walker. I like to walk.
Yeah.
I like to go for walks. 9.7.
9.7. She's a 10. And you can substitute in your favorite show here that's recent. That is like, and this while I'll give you the show example that I'm giving. She's a 10, but she makes you wait weeks in between episodes of Stranger Things. Now, I put Stranger Things in as the example because I want you to know what type of show I'm talking about here. So whereas they all come out at one time because of her schedule or because what have you, instead of watching them and keeping up with them, you are watching one episode and then 3 weeks later you're watching the next and then maybe 2.5. You're all over the fucking board and you can't just get a nice schedule.
So it's got to be a show that like I'm dying to watch.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why I gave the example. I didn't want to put like The Office where you're just kind of watching it. I wanted it to be a show that everyone's talking about at one time that you got to keep up with.
She's still a 10. I don't mind that. It's maybe a slight nuisance, but I don't mind that. And I'm actually probably happy because I can work more.
Okay. Well, I think
she's a 4.
How fucking dare you? I think on top of that, I'm going to go a little deeper. I think it goes into other parts of your life. If you're this chaotic, I probably don't.
Well, she loves dogs that much. She's going in other parts of her life too. Then Sugar Plum.
It might be, but
yeah, she's going to be.
So we moved on.
She's going to be on Dog Talk like you wouldn't believe.
Dog Talk doesn't bother me.
On TikTok if she's petting every dog on the street. But you said it's not going to go into every part of her life.
That's because
you're an
we
idiot.
discussed every dog. We moved on from that topic, Sean.
I'm bringing it back.
I think that she drops to a 9.4.
What are we talking about here? Stranger Things. I was pissed about the dog.
July 1. I'm excited about that. You haven't finished yet, right?
No.
You haven't finished yet. Okay. How many episodes are you in? You remember last time I asked you?
Like
I haven't moved.
2.5 or 3.5.
So you're this person. You don't have anyone to rely on. You're this person.
Well, it's... but I'm not.
No wonder
I'm not
he's still
holding.
10.
I'm not holding Stephanie up.
But you're holding yourself back. So you'd hold other
Yeah,
people
because
up.
I love discipline.
It's not discipline.
Yes, it is. I could be watching it right now, but I'm disciplined. I'm working. I'm getting focused.
You're making content at scale.
I'm making so much content at scale.
Oh man! All right, so yeah, I mean she's a 9.4. It really isn't that big of a bother though. Yeah, Sean. Last one for you.
She's a 10, but she puts her milk before her cereal. You want to talk about going deeper into life?
Mm-hmm.
This is a serial killer.
Yes.
She's a murderer.
Imagine doing that.
People do this.
Apparently, it was online.
That's you have to bathe the cereal in the milk to get it a little loosened up.
Yes.
You want to moisten the
moist
the puffs.
Moist.
I don't know why people
don't
like that word
either.
It's
It's a fine word.
People I've said that word before. People are like, "Oh God, don't say that."
Moist.
There's somebody out there right now going, "Stop."
Moist.
Yeah, you have to moisten the puffs. you
have
have to.
Have to. Mandatory.
The cereal Cocoa Puffs is just like it's like dog food until you put milk on it.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky Charms is like eating cardboard until you put milk on it, and then it becomes magically delicious.
Magically. Remember back when we were kids and they all of a sudden went to whole grain and like Cocoa Puffs turned to shit?
I do remember that.
It was such bullshit, Kellogg's or whatever they. It was like moms.
They were
against
probably catching
grains.
They were probably catching a lot of flack for
Yeah.
making Cookie Crisp and giving kids a bowl of chocolate chip cookies, and then they did Reese's Puffs, which was Reese's peanut butter cups, and then they did Oreo O's, which is just Oreos.
I think it was such bull. It ruined Trix for me.
It did.
I love Trix.
It was a definite change.
Trix milk at the end, delicious.
You got to imagine. You got to wonder what was in the original formula, where people were like, even the politicians were like, "Guys, all right, I like to get a little crazy out here, but
you put herpes in this?
That is unacceptable."
Yeah, it was. I remember that change. I want to say where I was in middle school for it. And I absolutely was so upset about how the Cocoa Puffs and Trix
They were like,
changed.
"Oh, new formula. Yeah. It's healthy now."
Like,
and me and Patrick were like,
This is shit.
This isn't going to be good."
This is shit.
When was the last time you had a bowl of cereal?
I cannot recall.
I feel like the only time is like Christmas morning. I have like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah, I don't have.
We're not even eating in the morning anymore.
No.
We're so disciplined.
So disciplined. We're doing push-ups with coffee and not very minimally caffeinated, so we're not that hyped up. The last one, and this is the one I'm most excited about. I think I didn't see. What was the one who dropped to a 1? To a 3?
She was on my Super Sweet 16.
Super Sweet 16. So I did see that being a drastic change. I thought this would be the most drastic change. And I believe, I'm going to go out in line here, on a limb here. I believe that this one is going to be, both of us will say drop to a 1. I already know my answer because I've done these. I'm the one that wrote these.
Okay.
She's a 10, but she believes she's moody because Mercury is in retrograde. This is a good one. I'm very proud of this one.
I have people in mind that I remember the first person to ever tell me that. Yeah, well, I can't do this because Mercury's in retrograde.
What?
Excuse me? First of all, I don't even know what the hell that means.
Neither do I.
Something, I guess the planet is in a position.
Yeah.
I will say this.
Okay, here we go.
Let's
John's
have
diving
some
deeper.
fun. I think there's something to that. I don't know what, but there's so much mumbo jumbo out there.
Hold on. Let's take a break here. I absolutely love. We should use that more.
Mumbo
jumbo. What's his name? Chumbo.
This podcast should be called Mumbo Jumbo.
Mumbo jumbo. Great. That's a great. We use that more. I'll tell you that.
I think there's just so much mumbo jumbo out there. Specifically, I'm so fascinated by. I'm going to buy this book today.
Okay.
By the pyramids and how the hell that got built.
Certainly.
And there's so much astrology intertwined in that. And there's so many people that believe in it. And it has been around for millennia. I am a proponent of where there is smoke, there is fire. Now, Rebecca, who is telling me this, that I don't believe that she has that information. She's reading the horoscopes in the paper, follows,
Yeah.
I don't know, Mahatma Gandhi on Instagram.
Yes.
I think he's dead.
He might be.
I'm almost positive.
Okay.
And I don't even know if he does this stuff, but I don't think that this person would have the information. So I will be reluctant to put her down to a 1 just in case she's that person. But all of that seeping into the other parts of her life would make it very difficult to be around that person for a variety of reasons. So I'm going to give her a 3 with the possibility of growth potential. And she could get up there if she actually has some studies behind this.
All right. So she's a 1 for me.
Major red flag.
So Sean, I will also go. She has possibility of growth. Possibility of growth.
I want to hear if she can tell me how the pyramids were built.
I want to hear you. I want to hear you speak about it. I believe that if you're 100% bought in, now it is then become a self-fulfilling prophecy, and you read these things, and you're like, okay, so this month I'm going to be notoriously in a good mood.
You're not in control of your own destiny.
No, you are. Well, I think you are. You just don't know you are because you're believing this so much.
Yes,
and that's what I think. And this is why I think sometimes it's reckless. I think that I won't say that all psychics are fake.
That's fair.
I would say at very least, a large majority of them are, and I think those people are con artists and douchers. Because if you say anything, I'm somewhat okay with you saying that, you know, if you're a con artist, I'm somewhat okay with you being very positive during the reading, because you're like giving some hope. You like the person's happy, you know.
Yeah.
If you have the audacity to start saying negative shit during that, where people are 100% bought in on this,
no,
you are now not only a con artist.
These cards don't look good.
Yeah, but you're fucking with this person.
Yeah, I can't imagine the chutzpah on somebody who just has. Imagine you right now having zero psychic abilities whatsoever. Going, I'm psychic.
Yeah,
is that happening, or most?
It's
people,
certainly happening.
Do some people think that they have it, but they just don't?
I think there are con artists. There's con artists in every industry ever. So there are certainly con artists here, and I think those people are real pieces of shit.
Oh, that's brutal. Yeah, that's brutal.
I think you're a real piece of shit because you're taking advantage of someone in need.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people go there after the death of a family member and so forth, and I think you're really taking advantage of someone there, which I think is a pretty shitty thing to do. But I think it's the same thing with Mercury being in retrograde. I think that it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and if you're 100% bought into almost anything, that you are going to make this happen.
Yes, I agree.
I
totally agree.
When I was playing for the Red Sox, or I was playing baseball in general, I had this guy who was a sports psychologist with Boris Court, and he used to say that your brain is unbelievable at getting to the goal that you give it. Sometimes you give it the wrong goal.
Yes.
Because you're scared, because you're fearful. Like it's one of those things where, like, it's in golf. I don't want to hit those people.
Yes.
And you can aim no matter where you aim. The ball's going right at those fucking people.
It's called the reticular activating system.
The reticular activating system, of course. Tune into Sean's podcast for more about that that particular piece.
But there's somebody out there going like this right now.
But I think it's looking to achieve the goal, and then when you buy into something 100%, like people do sometimes with the astrology, you've now given the goal to your brain, and your brain's going to go get that goal.
Yes.
So I don't believe in it really in any capacity. But you know but because of that, it's not meaningful to me. If I believe in 100%, then I've made my goal, and as long as it says something positive in there. Because Jupiter is dancing this week.
Imagine looking up in the sky.
Jupiter was like, that would be something to see.
Yeah, people, but what was in my sandwich?
So true.
That Jersey Mike has done it again.
So true. But if Mercury is in retrograde, something you might want to consider is betting is a team sport. Join the WynnBET team and bet with the best, which I'm sure people use astrology for betting, gambling, 100%.
I mean, it doesn't take
Superstitious.
it doesn't take much for someone to be like, oh, should I pick the Mountaineer? Mercury's in retrograde, y'all.
Everyone knows Mercury's in retrograde. The SEC is 43-3. Not to mention they're always 43-3.
Somebody has stats on that.
Of course they do. Bet with the best. They've got your ticket to every straight bet, parlay, teaser, and props wager, regardless of astrology, all right at your fingertips. The WynnBET app is easy to use, so play with the most trusted brand in the industry. Sign up today and use promo code XSWC1. And after placing your first $50 wager, you will receive $200 to bet with. There is another $10 casino bonus for those in New Jersey and Michigan. Again, the promo code is XSWC1. Offer subject to change terms and conditions at WynnBET.com. Must be 21 or older to participate. Only available in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New York, New Jersey, Tennessee, and Virginia. Thank you, guys. That is the end of it. She's a 10. Back with a vengeance. Mercury is not in retrograde currently. So go ahead and gamble your life away.
You don't know that.
You're right. I don't know that. I have no idea. Let's just for our gambling friends, let's just make sure Mercury is not in retrograde, which might help.
We don't even know if that's bad.
It could be great. Mercury in retrograde, June 20 in 2022. First retrograde, January 14th to February 3rd. Second, May 10th to June 3rd. We're good, guys. Mercury is non-retrograde. The third one, though, and careful, this goes into West Virginia football season, September 9th to October 2nd.
Oh, no.
So we got to find out if the Big 12 plays good in retrograde. That's huge, beginning of the season.
You know
It's
we
big.
can make this a thing, right?
Oh, we're going to make it a thing, all right.
Mountaineers 6-0 when Mercury's in retrograde.
And then the fourth retrograde. That's huge. Huge. Fourth retrograde. If West
That's
Virginia's
like
good
something
season-
like you get Neil Brown on the podcast, and we're like, Neil, did you know that you guys have never lost when Mercury's in retrograde? And he's just like, what?
Listen.
Okay, is it in retrograde right
guess-
now?
but think about
No, it's not.
Think
So
think about this, Sean. Think about this. If we do go 6-0 when Mercury is in retrograde in the beginning of the season, we have a great rest of the season, and we play in a big time bowl. December 29th, January 18th, we're back in retrograde.
that's national championship season.
You bet you bet
The
something.
Mountaineers do not lose when Mercury's in retrograde.
Yes. Now, if we do, and we play good out of
That's because
retrograde,
Jupiter was dancing.
we are fucked. So, retrograde. Tune in to find out if the West Virginia Mountaineers are good when Mercury is in retrograde. And until next time, guys.
If there's anybody
Okay.
who listens to astrology or pays attention to it or is like into it, they are going to curse us.
So they are not pleased with this podcast.
Just absolutely crapping on them.
I don't think that we attract listeners that are into that.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. But if we do, we apologize, and we will issue a statement later today.
I don't really care if I offended them.
Okay, that's great. Until next time, guys. See you
Question of the day.
later. Question of the day. Question of the day. Until next time, we're going to do the question of the day. Wow, great call, Sean. I had no fucking clue. Question of the day. We have 99 votes. Anthony Cirillo, he's out, as I expected, because he's about to have a kid. Single me, no kids. Oh, yeah. Married with 5 kids. Hell yeah, but no. Okay, Richard Colungna Jr. And then Matt with 2 T's. Also, congratulations, Matt Tenney. And then $1 billion to start a life over again. Sign me up. And then Joger, absolutely not, will lose my mind. I think he might think that he can't talk to anybody. He can talk to people, just not his friends or family. And we do have another close race. I'm getting better at these questions to get people closer. The answer is 99 votes. Oh wow, almost 100 on the dot here. 99 votes. 52.5% of people voted yes. 47.5 said no. So more than the majority of the population of this poll of 99 people, and there it is. The 108 votes. Wow, that happened really quickly. 108 votes. The final 52.8 yes. 52.8 yes. What did we say?
I said no.
I said no too. So
There it is.
there it is.
All right. Now we can go.
All right. Until next time, guys. Adios, muchacho.
And muchacha.
Sorry, we're closed.